Guys ready for story time?
Nope.
Star tore to pieces and fell to the sea. 10 cursed islands arose from the depths, or 8 for us. The god beast called out to the seers and the wise men of earth. Oh, sorry, I skipped thing. A Newman was awakened by the clamor they caused, whose anger turned waters pitch black. The god beast called out to the seers and the wise men of earth, and did offer to grant them one wish. In exchange, they would bring him star fragments that fell, so he might cast them back to the heavens. But only one wish would be granted to them, to the ones who had gathered the most. They took to the sky. In their vessels they soared, for riches, for love, for glory. Go forth, brave adventurer, and claim your heart's greatest wish. Alrighty. So then, of course, it gives you the typical like table of contents and everything, all the components, and then here is setup. So for 3 or fewer players, use the side of the board with 3 player turn slots. We are otherwise the other side. Place the game board on the table. These reach of all players. It is Peaceful Plains is reachable for me. Steve has short arms. He doesn't have short. Steve has regular arms. I have orangutan arms.
Like I'm a T-Rex.
Place a Starfall tray at the edge of the board, which is this boy here. Collect the public Starfall, hidden Starfall, and objective cards. Each has a different colored back. So public Starfalls are red, hidden Starfall are blue, and the objectives are orange. Okay? Collect the player's items shown on the next page for each player shield tabs. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what we just did here. With our setup, we have our cubes, we have our tray, we have our markets, we have our fortresses, we have our skimmers, which are the little guys. We have our airships, which are the 3 big guys, player shield, power chips, and then, of course, we have our own plastic trays and our 2 reference cards. All right. The cards and the resources. So shuffle the public Starfall deck and place the top card face up on top of the public Starfall deck. Put Starfall in that region. And place the top card face up. Oh, okay.
So place a Starfall in that region, right?
Yep. And yep, that is public. Perfect. So public knowledge. We know there is a Starfall in the woeful wetlands. Okay, shuffle the hidden Starfall deck.
You can see that on the board. Now, it's not fully clear on the board, but now we've added a little tile to that space. Of course, the tile matches that color out of all the colors
That's
on the
board. Shuffle the hidden Starfall deck and place the top card face down in the first hidden Starfall slot. So that's this guy here. So face down goes right into the slot there. Boom. So that is hidden.
Hence the name, Hidden Starfall.
Place the extra cards face down within reach of all players. So we're doing it up over there. Cool. Yeah. Great. Is that on? Actually, let's put it over here where you can see it. Because we're going to be putting the other cards as well.
We can't reach over there.
Yeah, I can give you the card. Because like now they can actually see there. When you zoom in, they can still see there, right?
They can see the other side, but sure.
Well. Shuffle the hidden objective cards. Objectives have one of 3 different icons in the back marking where they are placed. Draw and place cards from left to right in the first slot so that they can be placed in. The first slot that they can be placed in. So from left to right. So slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well dang. Broke that already. So on the cards, there's actually like a dot versus 3 dots. So you have. Oh, okay. This is kind of cool.
So 1 through 5 is the 4 dots. 2. So you're gonna really shuffle and put them out.
No, I got it now. This is kind of interesting.
So that's like a little code thing.
Yeah.
There you go. That's kind of fun. Also, if you guys don't know, so the patterns on the back side here actually tell you where the Starfall is. There's a code on these, just like these. Yeah. So that's like a thing you can decipher to figure out what that says. That'll spell out the area. It's kind of cool.
Does one of these just not have anything?
That means it can be any of them.
That's what the picture shows. The picture shows all of them can be any of them.
Yeah, but on here,
so I'm assuming that means literally there's one with nothing. I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh, it's the middle dot. So the middle dot.
Oh, is 4 or 5, which is that one.
Yeah.
There we go. And
then this one has to have no middle dot plus mark.
Yeah. That works.
So, cool. 4. Interesting. Okay.
All right. And then we have this deck we'll put right here. In this.
Each player chooses any of the 4 starting resources to begin the game. Use 1 player cube per resource type in the game source. If this is your first game, we recommend starting with 2 gold and 2 wood. So each player chooses any 4 starting resources. So they recommend 2 gold, 2 wood. I think I'll definitely do the 2 gold, but I think I'm going to do 1 iron and 1 wood because I don't like to listen.
I was about to say, I'm not listening. I'm going to do 1 and I'm going to do 3 or no wood.
Nice.
we read the recommendations and we're like, that's exactly what we're not going to do.
Yeah. You want to push yours up slightly? Get it back in.
No, because I don't want my thing in play.
No, I'm not going to see. You can't see top down. Yeah. I mean, like I can't see your resource. I'll turn it more away from me.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. So set up resource cards to remove. So resources can be gained by placing airships in regions, scouting starfall cards, which I believe these are the scouted starfall cards. But you can scout. I'll go over what scouting means.
It says right here.
Yep. Perfect. Scouting starfall cards or from activated market buildings. The resources gained will be noted under the region banners and scouted cards. The resources in the game are gold, iron, and wood. So under the banner on all these, it has the resources like we mentioned earlier. So when playing 1 to 3 players, Frosty Ford and Wayward Wood are absent from the board since those regions are removed. The following cards should be removed from the public starfall and hidden starfall and objective decks. Okay, so we're going to have to redo these.
No, we're not.
Because they have to be removed from these as well.
Oh, true. Okay. We just got to take that card out.
Why would they not say that first?
Frosty Fjord.
Frosty Fjord. And what was the other one? Wayward Wood.
Huh. What's the odds?
Hmm.
Oh, no, it's right there. I was going to say. All right. So whatever's down there is good. So that blue card's fine.
Frosty Fjord. Wayward Wood.
This one's fine, so we can leave that there. We're just going to take out the other 2 at the bottom.
So where'd you put them? Over here?
Yeah, just put them off the side for now.
Okay. All right. And then this can go in any slot, so you're there. You can go in any slot, so you're there. You can go in any slot, so you're there. You can go in any slot, so you're there. And you happen to be something that can go in any slot, so you're there. You happen to get all the 4s.
Yeah, very interesting that it tells you to set the game up, and then it's like, oh, wait, if you're only playing with 3 players, take these cards out after you've set everything up.
Right. Okay, so they'll take that. So Fractured Sky can be played from 1 to 5 players. You'll learn to play with it. Okay. So for playing 1 to 2 players, be sure to use the additional rules on page 23. Okay. There's some additional rules as well. So the objective of the game, each player is competing to collect the most starfalls at the end of 5 rounds. Players can gain starfalls in 2 different ways. Winning regions with starfalls. So these little boys there. The red player wins, starfall, yada, yada. So the player with the most starfall wins. Ties are broken by, yeah, I'll go to the other one. The other way is winning objectives at the end of each round. You can also get starfalls.
Which would be these orange cards. So if you complete whatever the condition is on the orange card, what's the example there? So
the example says having the most airships in regions with 2 matching resources. In the upper corner, it tells you that you collect 1 starfall.
Cool.
So the player with the most starfall wins. Ties are broken by whoever is earlier in the turn order at the end of round 5. So this turn order will matter. So if we each have 5 starfalls at the end of 5 rounds, whoever is earlier in turn order wins.
There's going to be a game we play where we're tied.
Most likely. So starting player. The first person who most recently saw a shooting star is the first player and places their turn order marker player cube in the first slot of the player turn section on the game board.
I don't really look up to this guy, so
I'm going to say it's probably me. So I go 1, so you're going to put one of your green boys on 2 here.
Oh, we don't have it on track. Oh.
When we finish, you'll put them down. Yeah. So players then continue placing their cubes in clockwise order on the same row. If you're the second game of the night, the person seated to the left of the winning goes first. Then your players continue in clockwise order from there. Anytime a player covers the gold icon on the player turn slot, they gain a gold resource. Cool. Okay, there's only 2 of us, so we're not going to be gaining that gold resource unless in the additional rules it says who goes second. That's it. So we'll see. Each turn, a player can take 1 of 3 actions. They can place an airship, one of these big boys. They can create a building / skimmer. So one of these over here. They can scout a starfall region or peek at an objective. So scouting a starfall region are these here. Peeking at an objective are these up here. Anytime, players can trade any combination of 2 resources for 1 resource of any type as a free action. So free action, you can trade any 2. So like I have 2 gold here. So if I wanted to build and I needed an additional wood, I could say, okay, I'm gonna use my 2 gold to gain a wood for free. So that way I could take the action to build.
Yep.
Boom. Okay. Good deal. Easy enough. So action. So placing an airship. Each round, all players will place 3 airships on the board in any of the 10 regions. To the bottom of each of those airships, the players will attach magnetic power chips with any number representing the amount of troop power a player is committed to that region. So that sounded weird. Players will attach magnetic power chip with any number representing the amount of troop power a player is committing to the region. Sorry. A player's total troop power, once all 3 airships tokens have been placed, should not exceed 10. See the next page of the rules if this is broken. So when we're placing down our ships in a single region, we can exceed 10, but you don't want to, because I believe there's a penalty for doing so.
Also why they give you 2 0 chips here.
Yep.
So the 2 0 chips can combine with the 10 chip. So you can put out 0, 0, and 10. Your opponent doesn't know that you've done that, but you have not exceeded 10.
Exactly. And Steve just gave away his strategy.
I would never use that base strategy.
Base? Wow. So if that's your strategy, Steve just heavily insulted. You are a basic board gamer. All right. When a player takes this action, they choose an airship and place it in a region on the map. Okay. If this is the first airship token to be placed in that region, that player will place it within the Explore slot and draw 1 hidden Starfall card from the unused hidden Starfall deck, if there are any cards remaining.
And that's the circle of each one would be that zone. So when you cover the circle, it shows the picture of the card. The color does not matter, but you go over there
and you take one of these.
And you take one of those.
So you get a little hidden information. Those hidden Starfall cards are going to tell you a location. So you'll know this hidden Starfall is not at that location in this round.
Yep.
Okay. This will show that there will not be a hidden Starfall in the region depicted in the card in the current round. Drawn hidden Starfall cards are private from other players.
Yeah, the concept there is pretty much like the game of Clue, where you're looking at cards and you know that's not the killer. Exactly. So it's the same concept, but it's not the Starfall.
Exactly. That island did not kill. Was it Mrs. Plum? Is that one of Mrs. Plum? Or is it Mr. Plum? Mr. Plum.
Professor Plum.
Professor Plum.
Miss Scarlet. No, Miss Scarlet.
Secretary
Mrs.
Scarlet.
White.
They all should have been alliteration. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Professor Plum.
The only one.
Secretary Scarlet.
The Professor was the only alliterative. Colonel Mustard.
Wild Whitey. All right. So when placing airships, keep in mind the 10 and the 1 power tokens are colored differently and can be used to bluff. So by colored differently, they mean differently than all the other tokens. The 10 and the 1 are specifically the same color.
Yes.
So that way you can try to bluff with what you're putting there. Use this to your advantage to keep your opponents guessing. So placing your last airship.
Hold on before you move on. Yes.
Okay.
So the reason for that is if you're looking at the 10 and the 2 here, let's pull out the 10 and the 1. So when you go to put your ship down, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to Sinister Spires. You can go put it on the 2, and you can see along the outside, potentially, you can see a slight black border. Whereas if you put it on the 10, you'll see a slight white border. So the 10 and the 1, if Nick puts that card down, I can easily see to be like, okay, he has a white border. It's the 10 or the 1. I know it's no other number. Versus if you put the 2 down, then you know it's 2 through 9 or a 0 and another 0.
Yep, exactly. Once all 3 of a player's what's that?
Oh, sorry about that.
Comment?
Yeah. The mic peaks if we turn our head, which I keep looking over there. Sorry about that. I'll talk quieter if I turn my head.
Yeah. Once all 3 of the player airship tokens are placed on the board, they then move their turn order marker to the next row, taking any available open player turn slot in the player count. They can take no further actions this round, and play continues until all players place the 3rd airship. So once all 3 airships are placed, the first person to do so will move this little player token here. So if Steve does it before me, he will put it down on the 1, which means he'll be first player next turn.
No, go ahead. That also makes sense.
Yeah. So on their turn, the yellow player places their final airship. They are done playing for the round and may pick any of the available slots from the player turn area. The fifth slot is the available because there's only 4 players. The game, don't forget. Okay. So this was explaining if you have 1 to 5 players. So, of course, we have only 2 of us playing, so the third slot won't be available. I assume, again, they give some additional rules in the back half there.
So do you have to play all 3 ships every time?
Yes.
Okay, so an action could be not playing a ship. So
Yes.
just because you've taken an action doesn't mean you've taken a turn.
Right. It's still a turn, but
Well, it's still a turn, but you have to get through playing all the ships before that round ends.
right. So I mean, the build stuff you can only do so if you have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you only collect resources at the end of the round. Yeah.
Okay.
So if a player exceeds a troop power of 10 on their airship tokens, each of their tokens are reduced by the amount of troop power they placed in excess of 10. So, for example, if a player placed 12 troop power, all their troops would reduce by 2 power.
Oh, got it.
So it's across the that one section.
So if you play the 10, the 9, and the 8, everybody is 0 at that point because you're minus 17.
Yeah, so there could be a strategic thing to where you put a bunch
Or you
there,
want
and so
zeros.
somebody else places just one. They're like, okay, they definitely went over. But by calculating that, even losing all of those off each, you can't do 2.
I was wondering, I was like, can you do 2?
No, it's 1 per ship.
So if you want to do 5 twice, you can't.
So in that example where it was 12, they had a 3, 4, and a 5 chip down. So each of those would lose 2. So it becomes a 1, 2, and a 3 chip. So your 12 quickly goes to 6. So then building details and fortresses. So this is different actions. So fortresses and markets are built on floating platforms. That's these little areas in the middle here, which are connected to regions via bridge systems. These platforms connect to varying numbers of regions, as denoted by the bridges and the dots near the platform. So the platforms
3,
here,
4,
they all have
2.
like little dots, little stars that tell you how many different areas they're connected to. So this one has 4, and it's connected to Woeful, over here, up here, and over here to Dreadful. Okay.
Woeful and Dreadful. Love it.
If a player chooses the build action on their turn, they must pay the associated cost and either place a fortress or market on a floating platform, or place a skimmer on a region. Each build action has a different effect and cost. So here it's going to talk about fortresses. So fortresses add 1 extra troop power to adjacent regions when matching color airship is placed there. Each fortress can only add 1 troop power per region, but it can affect multiple regions and can stack with other fortresses. So if I have this here and one of my airships here, say the number on the airship is 8, that 8 becomes a 9 because this fortress is attached to it. Now, if I happen to build 2 fortresses here, that 8 on that ship would become 10 because they stack. Great.
Yep. And what's nice about this too, you don't have to memorize that. Oh, it's +1 troop power because it doesn't say anything on this little thing, but it is on your reference card. So every player will get 2 reference cards. One of them will literally tell you for the market, the fortress, and the skimmer, which is your mini ship there, exactly what abilities it gives you and the resource requirements next to it as well.
Very cool. During the end of round rewards, this is for the market. Markets give an extra resource from each adjacent region containing a matching color airship. Each market can only give 1 resource per region, but may affect multiple regions and/or stack with other markets. The extra resource gained must match one of the available resources in that region. Markets do not give an extra resource to place airships with troop power of 0 unless they gain an extra troop power from a fortress. Okay, interesting. So markets do not give an extra resource to placed airships with troop power of 0. So you have to have some kind of troop power in the region for your markets to actually give you that extra resource. So if we have, for instance, I'll use the same area, a market there, and if I put this ship down, that's the only ship I have there, and I put it a 0, it will not give me an extra wood because there's no troop power here. There has to be at least 1 or more. So what it was saying is, if this is a 0, I would additionally need a fortress there to make that 0 a 1. Or, of course, place something down that actually has a number.
Now, and I assume, and it might clarify this later on, that let's say you play down a 8, a 2, and a, let's say 8, a 2, and a 1, but that's 11, so you're going to get -1. That becomes 0. That also does not produce because the new value is 0.
Right. I think
so it's going to be the end value, not the value of what you put down, but any penalties also.
Yeah, I would say that makes sense. Because it happens at the end, so during end of round rewards. Yeah. So then we have the skimmers, our little ships here. Skimmers give a temporary +1 to troop power in a region they are placed in. Skimmers are placed in regions just like airships and can be placed in a region without an airship, but do not interact with markets and fortresses like airships would. Skimmers may not be placed on explore slots. That's those little spots on here that have the card image that would allow us to take a hidden Starfall card. They are removed from the board at the end of the round. So what they're saying by how they can be placed like airships, but they don't interact with markets, is that same situation, right? So if we had a market here and just an airship, we wouldn't get extra resources. There has to be some sort of troop power in that region with an air be via an airship to get any kind of bonus from the market and to get any kind of bonus from the fortress. So specifically, the fortresses and the markets only interact with your big ships. So with the fortress there, this 1 would not become a 2. Good to know.
Yeah.
A region that has 0 troop power token, that has a 0 troop power token, and a skimmer would not interact with the market, even though there's 1 troop power in that region. Okay, that's what you just said. Cool. All right. So then the scouting action. So that's using this board down here. So the player can pay 2 gold to scout at a hidden starfall on the starfall tray they have not already scouted. They take this card, look at it, keep it a secret from other players, then return it to the starfall tray face down in the same slot. These cards represent the regions that will have an available starfall at the end of the round. So that means we can scout, we can look at this card that's here, or there will be more as we get deeper into the round.
Yeah, and that's just, again, it's going to have the location card. So these are the same cards, but these are the locations that aren't in play right now.
Yeah.
So it'll show the resources, but then it'll show, okay, Wayward Wood has a starfield or starfall. So if you
let's use this as an example for as we continue with this. So we'll put this in the 2 slot here. So when a player scouts, they must place 1 of their player tokens on the space above the region that was on the card.
That'd be right here.
They can choose to take a resource from the region that was on the card. If they do, their player token will be placed above the icon instead of the generic scout space. So when you're scouting, you can just choose to place your card here if you look at this, or your token. But if you want to take one of the resources, so the Wayward Wood has 2 wood, so you could put it in that wood slot. Now, that doesn't give away the location exactly, but if this is in that wood slot, everyone else now knows that this starfall can't be things like the Creepy Cove, and it can't be the Dreadful Desert, it can't be the Careening Cliffs, it can't be Molten Moon. It has to be one of the spots that has, Molten Moor. It has to be one of the spots that has wood associated with it. Kind of fun. So in a game where there's more of us, the second person to look at this card, if they choose to, may not want to take a resource because that's immediately going to give away exactly where that starfall is.
Yeah. And I think that's when strategy comes into play, looking at who's already taken hidden starfall cards in the pile over here and being like, okay, how much leeway do I have to take a resource and not give away exactly where that hidden one is?
So this says here, players, of course, may scout the same hidden starfall as others. Those players follow the same rules above. They may choose to take one other resource, or if they take the same resource as the previous player, they place their token in the larger slot above. So if you don't want to give it away, wood, if someone else wants to take wood too, then you put it up there. The fun part here is this place, the resources is double wood. So it wouldn't necessarily give that away. That's kind of nice. So the ones that are doubled up in the
versus
same
like
types.
if you took wood, I took gold. Now we know exactly where it's at.
Right. So the ones that actually.
Actually, there's two that have wood and gold. So we give.
It'd be, but it's either or.
Yeah.
What's fun is that the ones that have that double resource, it's safe for you to look at it and take that resource as well.
Yeah.
You're not risking anyone finding out what it is.
I would assume in a 2-person game that if you both scout, it doesn't really matter anymore because you both know what it is, so you might as well take the resource.
So now you're just fighting over the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Players may also pay 2 of any combination of resource to peek at a hidden objective card on the Starfall tray that they have not already peeked at. When they take this card and look at it, keep it secret from the other players, then return to the Starfall tray in the same slot. When they do, they must place one of their player tokens in the space below the peek. So you place yours in the
perfect
orange.
sense why there's 10 tokens remaining now.
Mm-hmm.
5 and 5.
Yep, exactly. So Fractured Sky is not a memory game. At any time, players may look at cards they've already looked at. So if you have your token on the board, at any time you can take it to refresh yourself. Ending the rounds. Once all players have placed their third airship and set their turn markers, the round is over. So all 3 airships are out here. We have our turn markers down here now. Finished. At this time, flip the leftmost hidden objective card. So we would flip that over. Reveal the hidden Starfall cards. So any that are down here, we would flip over as well. And then reveal the troop power tokens beneath all the airships on the board. Objective cards will award 1 Starfall to a player for meeting the requirements listed on the card. Each objective card is only scored once in the round, which is revealed. Objectives can relate to building, number or type, airship placement, scouting, or troop power on the board. If there is a tie, whoever is earliest in player turn's order breaks the tie. So if Steve and I both accomplish this hidden objective, he would get it because he's earlier in turn order. So there's benefits to getting your airships down first in regards to the turn order and tie break thing.
I was going to say the Starfall is awarded as the card flips, not when you do the objective.
Exactly. Reveal the hidden Starfall cards and place Starfall tokens on these regions on the board, moving from left to right on the board. Each region is resolved one at a time, with players comparing their troop power in the region where they're taking rewards. So when these are revealed, the hidden Starfall cards down here, we're going to place these Starfalls on the board first, and then we'll go through and count and see who got that Starfall. So taking into account the troop power there, any fortresses that are attached, any what's it called? Any points you need to remove, any penalty points you need to remove, and then whoever has the highest in that location will get that Starfall. Hidden Starfalls can overlap public Starfalls. So these red ones, so we have Woeful Wetlands. So this Woeful Wetlands, this could also be a Woeful Wetlands.
Yes. Wow. And then you could get, it says over does this, so you don't get 2 Starfall.
You would.
You would get 2 Starfall, okay.
Yeah, if you own it there, you would get both of those.
Nice.
Yeah. The player with the most troop power in a region must take the highest reward tier available, with subsequent troop power levels taking a reward 1 tier down. So a player's activated markets award resources regardless of their reward tier position, even if they receive a Starfall from reward tiers. Airships with 0 troop power are not considered for rewards unless the fortress is connected, modifying its value. So the reward tiers go, first, you get the Starfalls if you have the most. Next, you get both resources. Third, you get 1 resource. Fourth, you get no resource.
Okay.
Pretty easy to
so
remember.
Both of us are at Woeful Wetlands. If I have the higher troop power, I get the Starfall, you get the 2 wood.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Pretty simple. Yeah.
Cool. And then just give an example on here going over that situation, but it's pretty straightforward. All ties are broken by end of round turn order. Whoever is earliest in turn order will receive the higher reward. So again, if Steve and I are tied in that section, Steve would get the Starfalls because he's higher than me. Okay, round cleanup. Before continuing to the next round, players must do the following. Return and shuffle all public Starfall cards to the public Starfall deck and place 1 face up on top of the deck, place a Starfall in that region. So this we would reshuffle and flip over the top card. Return and shuffle all hidden Starfall cards, the blue ones, to form the hidden Starfall deck. Then add face down cards to the tray equal to the round number. Place the unused cards face down within reach of all players. So as the rounds go on, there's going to be more hidden Starfalls on the board, which is kind of fun. So by the end, there's 5 hidden starfalls out of our 8 locations. So there's only 3 locations where there's no starfalls. That's going to be an interesting end game.
The thought too is like in round 1, if you were to scout and look at this card, that card doesn't, or if you scout and look, let's say actually, if you get an objective card over here, and look at it.
Oh, you just give away that that's not the spot. We're going to have to reset this.
That's fine. I thought we were anyway.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at this and you're like, okay, I know Careening Cliffs is not where the starfall is in round 1. It gets shuffled. That could be where it is in round 2. So your knowledge from round 1 means nothing going into round 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought we were just gonna like.
Yeah, well, we might as well. Let's put this over there. We're not gonna be shuffling that in. Okay. So then return all airships and skimmers to the player trays. Return all player tokens that were used for scouting, so that are on this board. Do not return buildings or player tokens from the objective row. Interesting. So the player tokens that are in the objective rows stay there.
Which means you can then peek at the new card. Well, it doesn't. Oh, because it doesn't say to do anything to these cards. It just says hidden in public.
So the hidden objectives, I guess.
Because you're going to reveal one each round.
Per round. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Got it. So you can look at an earlier round or a later round's objective.
Yeah.
Nice. And you can like plan, like, okay, I'm going to go for, you can play an end game, essentially.
Which we both will do.
Nice. The player first in player turns order now begins the next round.
Yeah. And to clarify, I was just reading this too, to clarify for everybody. So this was the starting order. This is not saying that you have 3 turns for the round.
Right.
This just says there's 3 players, up to 3 players for this board. You could play 7 turns in one round. So placing your big ship is 1 turn or one action, which is, let's say, is part of a turn of the round. But then placing these is down as 1, scouting and looking is 1. So this order is determined by whatever player places the 3 large ships first goes down. But if you want to play a different strategy, you can start scouting all of these cards. And then in round 1, you might lose round 1, but you know now all 5 cards.
Yep.
So you can play it differently. So keep in mind that you don't have a limit to how many turns are in the round, but the turn order is directly correlated to getting all 3 of the big ones into spots on the board, into regions.
Down on the back side of those cards, too, it actually has the reward tiers as well, which is helpful.
Yes. And it shows you how to add 3 numbers together. Yeah. Good job, Nick. Just for Nick.
Just for me. Just for me. If you've watched any of our cribbage games, occasionally I miscount. I get overly excited. And I'm still winning, though. The score is 3-2. Me.
I'm better at playing blind than I am looking at my cards.
Yeah, Steve is more lucky than I am, but I'm clearly better at just playing strategically. He's holding back so hard from saying something.
I'm just gonna wait until I tie a 3-3 on Thursday, and then we'll talk crap.
Okay. Once the 5th round is over, the player with the most starfalls wins. Tiebreakers, which we'll worry about tiebreakers if that happens. But it's in turn order, I believe.
Yeah.
So again, it goes based on that.
Page 22 is going to be the 2-player game rules.
Okay, so it gives us some tips real quick here.
We don't want to read the tips.
Oh, we're going to have to use the AI for 2 players.
Okay, we don't want to read the tips.
Want to read the tips? Read the tips.
I want to play without knowing the tips.
What are the tips?
As he reads all the tips to himself.
Yeah, I'm reading the tips for all of us. Reading them for them too. So objectives can be a key to winning the game. Don't forget to peek. Knew that. Build a market in round 1 or 2 if you're able. Of course, maximize resources. Don't place too many zeros out without a fortress. This may lead to you feeling resource starved. Yeah, makes sense. Having markets connected to a region with a variety of resources can be useful, obviously. When in doubt, Creepy Cove. So Creepy Cove is over there on the side.
Which gives you gold and or it connects.
Oh, connects to 3 spots here as well.
But like if you put a market here, I guess, yeah, you can put markets in different locations and everything.
Okay.
That's actually really interesting because I would think the desert, because the desert connects to 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. And it's kind of dead center.
Gives you 2 gold. Okay.
Interesting.
Bluffing is a large part of Fractured Sky. Use your 10 and 1 power tokens wisely. Hidden starfalls can match public starfalls. Be aware that double starfalls can occur in a region. Starfalls that are not awarded to players stay on the board. Keep an eye out for
Makes
those.
sense.
Okay, that's cool. Combining your skimmers with your 1 troop power token can be used as an excellent bluff. Cool.
Oh, so the skimmers.
No. So
Oh.
saying if you put down a 1, putting down a skimmer on that same
Oh,
location.
because it gives a
you'll bluff.
+1.
Right, so that could be a.
So it gives because the skimmer gives a +1 to true power
Yeah.
on only that region.
It would almost give it away, though. I feel like if you put a skimmer with your 1, I feel like naturally you're going to assume that's not the 10 then, because you would immediately be over 10.
Not necessarily, because let's say you're over 10 and then it subtracts 1, it could just offset. If you put, let's say, the 10,
Yeah,
and
No,
then
but
let's
it would
say
drop
a
you to
0
9.
and a 1 down,
it would drop you to 9.
no, it would put you back to 10 because it would just get rid of the skimmer's boost. So the 10 plus 1 minus 1.
No, that's not how it works. No, if you go over, you subtract from each of the tiles you put down.
Yeah, so the tile will go to 9, but you still get the +1 from the skimmer.
Yeah. Oh, because the skimmer wouldn't go down.
Yeah, the skimmer's not. Yeah, so it'd still be 10. So there is a strategy there.
Got it. Okay.
It depends on how much your opponents pay attention to what you're playing, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Taking resources from hidden starfall cards may give the location to opponents of hidden starfall. Right, obviously.
All right. So before we read this 1 and 2 player thing, let's bring back the cards.
Yeah, and the tokens.
Yeah, all of the stuff that we shoved at the bottom of this box. Well, didn't throw away.
We thought that it was.
I'm just gonna.
Oh, let's.
That was way more efficient.
You are the messiest person.
I am innovative. I wasn't pulling all those things out of there.
You still have to organize them by hand here.
That's fine, but they're already on the table.
Right,
Oh, and we need this. Nope, that's not the card I'm looking for.
I'll let you organize those while
that I need. That's awesome. Yeah, I got
while I go over what we're doing.
You read some stuff.
This mode is for 1 or 2 players. We have to use the AI. This mode matches players against automated opponents. When playing solo, the player competes against 2 AIs. Oh, that's why there's 2 different colors. For 2 players, add 1 AI to the game to compete against both players.
Would you like black?
Whoever has the most starfalls, let's do black.
All right,
they're evil.
That's rude.
In regards to games, cartoons, shows, movies, darkness is evil. AIs will use components in different ways depending on the chosen difficulty. So the components for AI consist of AI airships, which are the circular tokens here. So like I assume they're going to be upside down, so they're random. AI markers, which are the eyeball tokens that are there. AI buildings, so they have markets and fortresses just like we do. They have some AI skimmers as well, so they have little tiny circles that have the ships. There's AI action choice cards as well, so we're only going to need the black deck. Then we're not going to need the orange deck.
I know I put it aside already.
Huh?
I already put it aside.
Oh, the deck did too? Oh,
Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. All right. And then they have separately, of course, reference cards, which we have, and they have their own market cards. Their own market card, which is that one.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So we're gonna move this deck over here for everybody. We're gonna put all of the AI stuff just off the side.
Okay.
Again, I'm assuming there's gonna be cards that tell us how to play it, when to play it, all of that.
Yeah. So then here it says the difference can be in amounts used or even in how airships. The AI components are different depending on the chosen difficulty. Okay. So the difference can be in amounts used or even in how airship power is determined. Below are the component amounts used for easy, medium, and hard. Further explanation on components will be detailed on the relevant pages. Players are encouraged to choose some or all modifiers. So you want to do medium?
No, hard.
You want us to start off with hard?
Yep.
Okay. So the market card is used. 4 buildings of each type. 2 high troop power airships.
Okay, so we get 4 buildings. 4 buildings.
And so it'll be detailed here.
Wait, can you go back to that? What?
It just says 2 high troop power.
Well, okay, there's 2 versus 1. Yeah, so there's 2 of these.
Those aren't airships. Those are scouts. So we're gonna.
There's skimmers.
The skimmers are out there. So 2.
Right.
So these are the airships. So 2 high.
So okay, so the 2. Oh, I mean high power. I mean the top number. That's what it's mean.
Maybe we'll see.
I assume.
So set up the game as usual. Then follow these setups, objective cards, So those are used with 2 players, so we're still using the objective cards. Good. The market card is using the hard difficulty, so we're doing that. AIs go last in turn order during setup, so don't forget the gold bonus. So they're going to get a gold bonus. So this little square dude, boop, will go right here. So they always go last in turn order, or they setup they go last. So they will get gold bumps. I guess is their way to mark their resources. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Cool. When playing solo, do not use objective card K for each AI in play. Shuffle the corresponding AI action cards and airship tokens face down. Then place each AI's component in play area to your left or right, keeping them separate from one another. Okay. After all human players pick their turn order, AIs will follow, placing their tokens in player turn slots clockwise order. Choose a difficulty level. Did that. They would recommend easy for the first game. Well, they'll cover that in a second.
Yeah.
AI control. At the start of each round, shuffle each AI ship tokens face down, then draw 3 per AI and reveal them. Face up, these tokens will not be used this round. So the 3 you draw are not used in the round.
Okay.
Players then take their turns as usual, with this exception. So whenever 2 total resources are taken from scouting a hidden Starfall card, that card is revealed and a Starfall is placed in that region. So whenever 2 total resources are taken
So
from a scouting
both
card
of
there,
us,
it's going to get revealed and immediately placed. Okay.
Which means because it's 1 to 2 players, we already both know because I can't take 2 resources. You can't scout
Not
twice.
yet. So if the second person looks,
We both know where it's at.
Takes the second resource.
Yeah, because we both know where it's at. It's like okay, put the star all down. Okay.
So though AI scouts are always considered as taking resources for the purposes of this rule, do not move their market card token. Market cards will be further explained. Okay, so this is the market card. There's going to be a token on there. So here they have an example. So in the first to third examples above, the second resource is taken during a scout action. The hidden starfall card is revealed. The starfall is placed in our region. So here we have 2 AIs. We looked at it twice in this section, so you can reveal it. Here it's 1 and 1. So it's not even the 2 that are on there. It's just in general, if there's 2, it gets flipped.
They take only if they take resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1 resource.
Yeah, so all 3 did it, but only 1 took a resource.
Okay. Got it.
Which had to be the AI.
Somebody did. Okay. Cool. How the AI works. All right, here we go. So at the beginning of each AI turn, flip the top card from their deck face up and carry out its effect.
So I'm just going to flip one to show everybody here.
Okay.
So we flip this card, so it's next to their market card. Let's put it right here. And this literally just says place an airship. So it says place an airship in a region with the most starfalls and none of the AI tokens.
If the card effect is unable to be completed, draw another card and follow its effect. The different cards are as follows. Place an airship, scouting, building, placing a skimmer. So same as us, really. If an AI has more than 1 option for its current action, it will follow AI advantage. Then follow the compass on the previous card used. The compass can be found on the bottom right of the AI card.
Yep.
Right. So if an AI has more than 1 option for its current action, it will follow the AI advantage, which I explained here. So AI advantage. When presented with equally beneficial options, AI advantage will help players choose. Players should place an AI's airship in the region connected to the most of its already constructed buildings. Players should place a building on the platform that connects to regions with the most buildings already connected to it. I'm assuming that's on here as well for AI advantage. Okay. Compass. Players will use the AI compass from the previously drawn card, or current card if it's the first card of the round, to make their decisions when there is no clear choice for AI. The stars on the compass will point to a direction to help break ties between placing buildings and scouting. The large stars on the compass take precedence over the smaller ones. Okay, so there's multiple stars on there. So I have an example here. When placing an airship, the orange AI has 2 regions that are tied for most starfalls. AI advantage would cause the AI to place near the most of its buildings, but each region has the same number of buildings connected to them. So then you would use the compass to choose. Got it. Okay.
We'll definitely be referencing that as we play, probably.
For sure. Placing an airship. So the AI will place one of its airships in the region with the most starfalls, and none of the AI's previous airships. If more than one region has the same number of starfalls, follow AI advantage. Then compass rules.
Yep.
AIs will place in explore slots, but do not take cards like players. If there are no starfalls in the regions without AI's airships on the board, the AI will place an airship following AI advantage, ignoring regions that is already placed in.
Okay. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, so most starfall placement, so more. You're placing there. AI advantage placement, so Sinister Spires has the most buildings. Okay. Compass, got it. As soon as the AI places their third airship, they will choose and place their marker in the available player turn slot following turns first, yada yada,
Yep.
just like everybody else.
Yep.
When they're in the third slot, they gain a gold bonus on their market card.
Which we'll mark in a moment.
So I assume
To be a 1. So I'm assuming they only use gold. They don't use anything else. We'll find out in a moment as we continue on. Page 31.
oh, so why would they? As soon as the player has third airship, they will choose and place their marker in an available player turn slot following in this order.
Because,
So they'll go first, third, then second.
No.
Yes, it says. That's what I'm saying. Following this order, first, third, or second. When placing it in the third slot again. So they're gonna try to go first if they can. If they can't, then they're gonna go for the third slot to get the gold. And if they can't do that, then they go for the second slot.
Interesting.
Cool. Scouting. The AI will place a scout token above a hidden starfall card it has not already scouted. The AI will place a scout token above a hidden starfall card.
So like in the tray.
Oh, it has not already. Got that confusing for whatever reason. It will choose a card according to the previous card card's compass, choosing the card furthest to the left or right. AIs will never pay the cost to scout. Like in resources. If the AI has already scouted all available hidden starfall cards, draw another action card and follow its effects. Okay?
So I'm assuming, and never mind, it's about to say what I'm assuming.
The resource thing?
Yep.
Whenever 2 total resources are taken from scouting a hidden starfall card, that card is revealed and a starfall is placed in that region. Though AI scouts are always considered as taking resources for the purposes of this rule. Do not move the market card token. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
So they're
saying
always
here is
considered they're going to be
on this board, like
Yeah.
if I wanted to take, again, using the woeful example, I had 2 wood. If I wanted to take a wood, I'd have to put it here first. But the AI would just put their token here, meaning they took a resource. We don't know what the resource is because we can't look at the card unless we scout it ourselves.
Yep.
So if then I take wood, automatically have to reveal that card, even though he hasn't scouted it.
Yep. And they don't get anything on their market track for doing it.
No, it's just, it kind of makes it worse for us because if we take a resource, not knowing what the AI is going to do, they could just give away the location to the other player.
Yep. All right. So I assume, so this one, it seems like it only goes up when they gain the gold then, so far.
Most likely. Unless there's a card here that says also gain gold or something like that.
Possibly.
They have markets, so I'm assuming, or they have, markets, so I'm assuming they get 2 gold at that point.
So building and placing skimmers. Buildings and placing skimmers. So this action can indicate which type of buildings the AI wishes to build. If the AI has no buildings available, draw another action card and follow its effect. It will determine placement following the hierarchy of rules below. So near the most starfalls, on platforms with the most regions connected, follow AI advantage, and then follow compass rules. So it's going to try to put a building connected to the most starfalls first. Then it'll try and place a building on a platform that has the most regions that it could be connected to. And if there's a tie there, then you're going to follow AI advantage and then compass rules. Okay. So building example. So the AI places a market on a floating platform following these steps. So Dreadful Desert has the most starfalls. Dreadful Desert has 2 available floating platforms that connect to the regions. So this is an example that's giving us here. AI advantage indicates a tie. Is there one matching AI building on each floating platform? Okay. Yeah, the previous actions card compass points to the northwest. So the AI finally selects a platform to the left. Okay. Yeah, we'll review that when it happens. Placing skimmers. When placing a skimmer, the AI will place 1 in the region indicated by the public starfall card.
Which is
Okay. ending rounds, and it goes over the rewards over here for those buildings that are placed. So once all players in AI have placed their third airship, the round is over. At this time, reveal all airship tokens. Find the AI token with the highest troop power on the token in a Starfall region. Rotate it to the highest value. Okay. The two other of the AI's tokens are rotated to the low value. Oh, so that's what it means by highest value. So we use all of these, but for hard, we always
We're supposed to
rotate.
look at what 3 were available.
Oh, we're gonna redo it. We're resetting everything. Remember? So that means that
Yeah.
2 of these are rotated to the highest
Yeah.
value when they're placed.
I do that.
But we use all 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. What's this here? On hard difficulty, 2 are rotated to the highest value. AIs may have.
We don't use all 6. We only use 3.
No, each round we shuffle all 6 and choose.
Oh yeah, 3 per round. Yeah.
AIs may have more than a combined total of 10 troop power, so they can have more than 10. Interesting. We cannot. Finally, in 2-player games, flip the leftmost hidden objective card and immediately score it.
Okay. Yep, that'll be at the end of the round. Yep.
These are scored just like the main game and award a Starfall. AIs can also win Starfall awards from hidden objectives in 2-player games.
Yep, and they have a little stack of Starfalls here that they would gain. And it looks like here, actually, in hard difficulty, if they get to 5 gold, they get a Starfall.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to clarify that in a moment,
like it.
which definitely will.
Actually, those guys are those.
No, they'll tell us right here.
I know. I'm looking at that. Look at something else real quick. Those aren't even their Starfalls. Those are just ones that they have in general if you don't want to use the tokens.
Oh.
So they would just literally just gain one of these.
Yeah. Boop. We can give them one of their shitty ones.
Those, I think they have those. They included those for streamers like us and stuff. So like we could literally, instead of using the metal ones, you could like put these on the board so people could see it.
Yeah.
It's easier. But I don't care. I'm sorry. I want to use the metal ones because they're cool. All right. So end of round rewards. Rewards work just like the main game for players, following the troop power reward tiers. See below. However, AIs will acquire Starfalls and use resources differently. The only reward tier that AIs are rewarded are Starfalls. They do not collect resources from rewards.
Yeah.
When an AI acquires resources from the third player slot or the market building effect, they are tracked on the AI's market card. Okay, so one of these must be market building. Or no, this is market building. Yeah. Depending on chosen difficulty level, trade in those resources for a Starfall as soon as the AI meets the required amount and reset the marker card by removing the marker. Okay. So for Starfall for 5 resources. Okay. So for markets, they would gain an additional. Looks like an additional one. So while AIs do not take rewards for 2, 3, and 4, they are still occupied by AI when the player is awarding their. While AIs do not take rewards, 4 tiers, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah,
they still are occupied
like
by
if,
AI when a player
let's
is rewarding.
say,
2, 3, and 4 like reward tiers, like the
yeah.
resources.
So if all 3 of us are in the same location, if let's say I had the highest number, I get the Starfall. If the AI is second, they would take the 2 resources per se and just cancel it, and then Nick would get only the single resource, which I think you get to choose. So obviously, if it's something like this, you get to choose which one you want.
So then, do the markets that they have there?
I'm assuming they get a gold. They get a resource. Yeah,
they must. 14 next round players do the following: return shuffle public cards to the public Starfall deck and place 1 card face up. Yep. Return all shuffle hidden Starfall cards in the Starfall deck, a number to the bottom of the round. Unuse the side. Yep. Return all airship scammer player tokens used. Yep. Like normal. Do not return player tokens from the objective row.
Yep.
Exactly. Shuffle each AI action card into the fresh draw deck. Return AI airship tokens. AI's respective play areas. Shuffle each set of airship tokens face down. Then draw 3. Reveal them face up. So we'll draw 3 of those ones we'll end up using. The first player in turn order now begins. End of the 5th round, the player / AI with the most Starfall wins. So I guess the market, because it would give you an extra resource, I guess it just automatically gives
them a gold.
Them one of these market areas, because it did say there, 3rd slot. So when the AI acquires resources from the 3rd player slot or market building effect.
Yeah.
Okay.